One of the most important shots in tennis is the forehand, but one of the most important shots you can hit with the forehand is the inside-out forehand. So if you want to learn what I think are the 3 keys to hitting a successful inside-out forehand, you need to keep watching this video, because I'm going to show you what I think could really help you improve your inside-out forehand, making your game that much more aggressive. Like I said, in this video I want to talk about the inside-out forehand and what I think are the 3 keys to hitting a successful inside-out forehand. Now, why is this shot so important? Well, this is what I think one of the cornerstone shots of tennis, because it allows you, if you have a strong forehand, to hit your forehand to most likely your opponent's backhand, which could be their weakness at a lot of amateur and junior levels. But even the pros, you see them using this shot combination because of another reason. Mainly that you can do so much more with the forehand. The forehand can create more racket head speed, has more length. You're able to adjust a lot more, and it puts your opponent in a kind of a tough position. You know, if I'm hitting an inside-out forehand, they have a choice to make now. If they want to get out of this situation, they need to hit the ball down the line or hit a really good cross court that doesn't allow me to run around it. Now, that puts them in a position where they have to take risk, okay? Also, because they're hitting inside outs, guess what? If they do go down the line and it's not a great shot, I can run over and hit another forehand. So now you can see why this shot's so important. It puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, especially if, you know, they don't have a great backhand. This is one of my favorite shots that I use a lot, and you know, I try to really force my opponent to make tough decisions while I'm hitting my forehand to their backhand. So let's first go over some of the three keys that I'm talking about. The first thing you got to understand when you're thinking about hitting an inside-out forehand is you got to consider when should you hit it. You don't want to just, you know, go wild and try to hit every ball as an inside-out forehand. My rule of thumb is kind of that where this ball is here. So what this means is where the ball is, I'm willing to cover this much court to hit an inside-out forehand. Once I start putting myself in this position, you know, every once in a while I might hit an inside-out forehand from here, but if I put myself in this position, I'm leaving a little bit too much court open. You can do that. Now, what I do suggest, if you find yourself moving way out wide, try to take the ball heavier, okay? So just because you're hitting an inside-out forehand doesn't mean you have to hit it really hard and straight. You can actually run around, which I prefer as my first inside-out forehand, run around and make it high, heavy, pushing my opponent back away from the court, which is another way to really add a lot of pressure. So if I push them back, guess what? They have less court to work with. If they want to go down the line, I have more time to react to it, okay? So that's one of the keys of choosing what you're going to do. When I run around, I got to make this choice. Am I going to run all the way around here? Because the other thing is, I don't get around quick enough and I hit a really kind of crappy inside-out forehand, they're going to run me in a way, even if I have to hit a forehand, they might hit a better quality ball because my ball wasn't that good, and then, you know, I'm in a bad position and I'm on the run, and they have the rest of the court to continue to run me. So that's the first choice. Thinking about most of the time, I'm going to be very comfortable about hitting a forehand here. If I am here, make sure I hit the ball heavier to move them off the court. Second thing, when I think about hitting an inside-out forehand, first of all, I think about preparation and first step. So important. A lot of times when I see players trying to hit an inside-out forehand, this is what they do. They kind of run over, and then at the last second, they're trying to prepare. And what happens is you never really get a chance to engage your core where you can really uncoil and add a lot of racket head speed to the ball. So the first thing I'm thinking is I'm going to split, and as I prepare, this leg is going to shoot back, okay? So I'm splitting and boom, because I know I'm going to start backpedaling to get myself in position. Really important that I'm going here and I'm pushing back so I can now set my feet to really coil up and unload. So that's the second thing you want to think about. That if I'm in this ready position, I'm going to split, and this right leg, because I'm right-handed, is going to go back, and also I'm going to prepare my racket by taking it back, which leads me into the last tip. You have to have correct spacing. One thing that I see a lot of players struggle with is when they go to the inside-out forehand, what happens is they're too close. The ball's too close here, okay? You want to make sure you have correct spacing, and an easy way to do that is making sure you use your left arm, especially if you're right-handed. You're going here, I'm here, and this is where I want to see the ball, okay? I want to have the ball here. I want to have great spacing so when I uncoil, the ball's there, and I can continuously add more racket head speed and put more pressure on my opponent. And you can see how that ball has a lot of action on it, which is going to jump up, pushing my opponent back. So if you go out and use these 3 keys, I'm going to do a quick review again. First of all, making the choice, thinking about here, okay? if I can get the round there. If you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and step and hit a backhand. Nothing's wrong with that. Actually, that's a great play because guess what? Now you're making your opponent think, you know what? I got to get the ball all the way over here or they're going to hit an inside out forehand. That puts more pressure on them. You can see this kind of like pattern going. I'm constantly trying to put pressure. I'm not trying to hit a winner. I'm trying to put pressure on. So that's the mindset. Number two, we're going to have this leg jet back. We're not going to go over here like this. Okay? We're going to have the leg go back like this. They'll help us prepare. Now, I will say sometimes you do see the pros. What they'll use is a very open stance and they'll go like this really quick. Now, the key, if you're going to use that choice, because I hear questions going, I see pros doing this, is that you have to do your unit turn. Most players, when they do this, they just go like this, and they wonder why they can't get there. What you see the pros doing a lot of times, they either go back with the leg, or you see them do the shuffle, but they'll go here. So when they get there, they can uncoil. It's really important having that uncoil. And leading into the final one, having the spacing. Whether you go back with that leg or you do the shuffle, you're going to see them have great spacing. So that allows them to have enough room to hit the inside out forehand. Okay? So go out and use this. Leave me a comment below about any questions you might have, and give me a like if you got something out of this video. If you want more great free videos like this one, go over to totaltennisdomination.com and sign up to receive or get on our weekly mailing list for videos, okay? So this is Kevin Garlington from totaltennisdomination.com. Go out and play tough.